Yeah, there's a two-tier pay system in the plant. The top tier are the legacy. The bottom tier is transitional. Now, according to the name, transitional, once you have a legacy member leave the plant, transitional is supposed to transition over to legacy. They don't follow through with that all the time. We've had several retirements just recently, and the people that were supposed to transition over haven't. The company wants to keep the transition language. We're trying to get rid of that transition language, period. We think everybody should be the same. If me and Paul are doing the exact same job, you should be getting the exact same pay. You should be getting the exact same benefits. But he makes $13 an hour less than I do to do the exact same job. To me, that's not right. We shouldn't be doing that. Exactly. We want a clear pathway. We want to know that after so many years, they're going to go over to legacy. Don't give us this, well, we have to wait for someone to leave. No, if we are so short-handed in here at that too, in most all the plants. Our CEO went back to talk, saying that we should be grateful because of the money we make. They say the majority of our people make $120,000 a year. What he doesn't tell you is that a lot of us are forced into overtime daily, especially during the pandemic. We have people in here doing 12 to 16-hour shifts just to be able to go home and try to get some rest, spend some time with their family. But it'll be time to go. You get to the time clock, and they're telling you, well, no, I need you to stay, do another 4. And here in the Memphis, oh yeah, it's definitely there's discipline that goes with it, unless you have a medical reason not to be working. But they can come get you at the last second and tell you have to hold over 4 hours. Here in the Memphis plant, they can force you to hold over 4 extra hours. But I know at the Battle Creek plant, I'm not sure about the Omaha plant, they can force you to do an extra 8 hours at the last minute. You can have plans with your family. It means nothing. We need you. You got to stay. Unless you have a reason,
Yeah. And how long are the shifts initially?
The shifts are scheduled in 8 hours, from 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and then 8 to 7. First, second, and third shift. Or 11 to 7. I'm sorry, 11 to 7 are the shifts. Yeah. Like I said, the CEO brought up we make that much money, but they don't. Like I said, he didn't explain about how much overtime we work. Now, there are a lot of people who volunteer for overtime. Like on first shift, they might need 6, 7 people. Sometimes I've seen as many as 13 people to hold over in the second shift. Or they need just 6 people to come in early on third shift. Well, people are going to sign up to come in early because they don't want to hold over. So they say, well, we got people volunteering for them. Yeah, they volunteer for some of the overtime to keep from being forced for some other overtime. But we've had people who volunteer for some overtime and still get forced for the other overtime. They'll sign to come in early, but get forced to hold over too. Well, no, you just, like I said, over here it's for 4 hours. So they're saying if you get forced over till 7 o'clock and you're already scheduled to come in at 3, that's 8 hours. That's more than enough time. You can go home and do that and come back. Yeah, I mean, they give you 8 hours, which means by the time you get home, eat, bathe, go to sleep, you got maybe 4 hours sleep. Then you got to come back. But one thing that he wants to bring up how much we make, but he doesn't want to bring up the fact that he makes $12 million a year. All we've heard for the last at least 2 years is how we got soft sales. Soft sales. We're not things aren't cereal's not selling. How many companies do you know that have soft sales and are not making any sales give their CEO a $5 million bonus, which our CEO got last year? So you say he basically made $17 million last year. But he wants to give money to the shareholders or put more into their pockets. So they take it from the people at the bottom of the totem pole. And they're trying to take it from us.
And at the same time, they're doing marketing things. So they're like, I work with our essential workers, like we're producing. And then so they profit off of it.
Exactly. Just last year during the pandemic, you see there's billboards right across the street. And the billboard on that side was telling about how Kellogg loves its essential workers. We're heroes. Well, once this contract was up, all of a sudden we're not heroes anymore. I guess we're zeros now. So that billboard came down, and all they talked about is how we're not trying to work with them. Just recently, after the strike started, we just had the negotiating team say that they needed to come back to Battle Creek. The company said that they were going to get rid of the two-tier and clear pathway to the legacy. They get up there for 2 days, and they maybe in the 2 days talk to our negotiators for maybe 30 minutes in 2 days. And all they gave them, only thing they gave them was the same thing we were offered before we went on strike. Basically the same thing. They still had people at at transitional, and they had no clear pathway to get. They said that they offered raises, which they did. They offered raises. But even when they top out in 7 years, you had to be here 7 years to top out. Their top out pay still wasn't the same as my pay. It doesn't. And they still wouldn't. They would take their pension, and they wouldn't have insurance when they retire. That's not right. They put their time and sweat. I've been here 15 years now. My first 9 years I spent on second shift. My daughter was in high school. She played volleyball. She played softball. In the 4 years that she was in high school, I think I maybe got to see 3 games because I was always here. I was here all the time. So, exactly. We call this is part of my family. And the reason I say it is because I spend more time with them than I do my actual family. Because I'm here with them 8 to 12 hours a day. I get home, I get maybe 4 hours with my wife, my kids, and then we all going to sleep. I got to get up and come right back in here again. And it was even worse when I was on second. And a lot of the people we got that we're fighting for are on second shift. So they're going through it too. It's not so much a life-work balance. That's what they keep trying to say they want to give us. But it's not. It has nothing to do with that. And it's not about the money either. It's just, we just want everyone to be treated equal. That's the big thing. The big thing with us is we want everyone equal.
It creates a society where you're living to work instead of working to work.
Yeah.
Your whole life, and it's sad that you end up spending less time with your family, and that's supposed to be the essence of life, is building a family, building your own American dream. But you're kind of stuck in a cycle where you have to be constantly breaking your back and putting in extra hours.
Exactly.
And then one thing we talked about before was inflation now. Inflation report came out where things are going up in cost, but if you're saying that the contract they offer you is the same as when you start striking, that means they haven't acknowledged things like inflation.
And that reminds me about something I didn't even mention. Our COLA. We call it our COLA, our cost of living adjustment. They want to give it to us even after, not the first year, but after that they'll give us cost of living and fold it into our pay. They don't want to give it to the transitioners at all. So, again, how are you going to be trying to make a difference between us?
Yeah.
He works just as hard at his job as I do. How are you going to pay me more than them when they're doing the exact same work? It's just not right.
I wonder how much that $5 million would be divided amongst all the people that are on strike.
Exactly. And they are spending so much money right now trying to bring scabs into the plant and keep us out here thinking that we're going to break first. Well, we got a little saying, one day longer, one day stronger. No matter how long they can hold out, we can hold out one day longer. 8 years ago, here in the Memphis plant, Kellogg's locked its employees out over negotiation of the local contract. What we're striking for now is the master contract, which covers 4 plants. The Memphis plant, Omaha, Nebraska, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Battle Creek. And Battle Creek, Michigan, which is where the corporate office is in Battle Creek. Well, our contract expired here in Memphis on October 22nd, 2013. They locked us out for 10 months. So we have people out here every day, every shift for 10 months. And just like them, we lasted one day longer than they could. Only reason they let us back in then was because judges we had one of the laborers, I can't remember what it's called. We've been in court over it, and the judge made them set us back in. But they still fought it and didn't give us any kind of back pay. So we don't know what's going to come with this one either. But we feel like if Memphis alone can last 10 months, we all 4 plants together, we're going to outlast Kellogg.
And they're all in strike right now.
Yes, all 4 plants. It's almost 1,400 employees.
Yeah. I know, I talked to the DSA. I know they came by to support. They've been seeing a lot of like public support for
Definitely. I've had people in the stores look and they'll tell me that I don't buy Kellogg anymore because I heard what's going on with the strike. One thing we want a lot of people to understand too, when you go in the store, there's a pink box on top. It tells you where the cereal is made. If the K is going to stand for Kellogg's. The letter after that tells you the location. If it's M for Memphis, L for Lancaster, N for Omaha, Nebraska, and B for Battle Creek, that's made in America. If it has an X on it or a Q, that's made in Mexico. They have 3 plants in Mexico. But something we always say is, they always tell us the water's not good to drink in Mexico. You have to have good water to make this cereal. If you're told not to drink the cereal, why would you want to make your cereal with that water?
So that means it's really, really important to keep the manufacturing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And then one thing that people might not know is, I know Kellogg's is a parent company to a lot of sub-brands. Do you happen to know some of the big sub-brands so that you
Kellogg's owns Keebler. They own, I still believe they own Pringles. They just recently bought Pringles a few years ago. Which we have a plant in Jackson, Tennessee. And I'm not sure. It's considered under the snack plant though. But it's just like I said, we got several, I guess you could say, subcategory type things where, we got cereal, frozen goods, frozen foods, and then we got snacks. We got a Kellogg's plant in Rossville where they make the Eggo waffles. So.
That's perfect. Yeah, because those are definitely things that people should try to avoid right now.
Yes, if you can, we'd appreciate if you didn't buy Kellogg products right now until they treat their employees fairly and evenly and equally.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Ian, for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.